All right, we're going to start with the nation. Atiku didn't meet conditions to win INEC tells tribunal. 104 stranded Nigerians back from Libya. Akpabio remains in Senate presidential race. Lagos Assembly stops government appointees. World Bank predicts global high unemployment, inflation, and slow growth. Amechi fired me from NPA over contract dispute. Nigeria may lose $23 billion to crude theft this year, Speaker warns. And Wike, PDP can't hijack National Assembly leadership. All right, which story are we starting with?
So I have a story. Two persons have been arrested for allegedly stoning a man to death in Ondo State, with the police saying that they will be charged for murder and arson. The police public relations officer in the state, Funmi Odunlami, confirmed the arrest of the two suspects and, disclosed that the detectives have commanded arrested them in the, over their alleged involvement in the jungle justice that was meted out to a 35-year-old Tokwe Olorufemi at Akure. That happened on Monday. And he said one of the two suspects allegedly masterminded the burning of the vehicle of Olorufemi, and they will be charged for murder and arson. So he went ahead to say that he's, warning a lot of people not to engage in jungle justice.
This was person suspected to be Yahoo boy?
Yeah, suspected. So they carry out all of this jungle justice once they suspect someone is either a Yahoo boy, a criminal, and all that. Every case must be reported to the police, and if anybody is found wanting, they will be thoroughly dealt with. So that's
okay, so the former Nigerian Port Authority Managing Director, Hadiza Bala Usman, has said that the reason why she was forced out of the NPA, being the NPA boss, by the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi. She said this in the memoir, a 200-page memoir titled Stepping on Toes, My Odyssey at the Nigerian Ports Authority. It was an interesting write-up where she said that she refused under her watch to allow $22 million for the dredging of Calabar Ports Channel and refused to renew the Intel's boat service contract. According to her, those are the two reasons why the former Minister of Transportation pushed her out. Though she did acknowledge that it was his recommendation that made her NPA boss. Many people thought it was El Rufai's recommendation. According to her, she had warned that the minister would want her out when two important contracts were due to renewal. So when she resumed office, these two contracts were due for renewal. First was the capital dredging contract, and the second one was the service boat management contract. They both wanted to be renewed automatically without due process. And she said, no, you have to go through the tenders board. You have to, and of course, according to them, according to her also, they had already paid $12 million to this company, and they felt that we can't continue this contract until we had do due process to be sure that you actually do the work. And according to research and investigations, the company didn't complete the work and didn't deserve to be renewed. So, of course, that now caused a strain between her and the Honorable Minister. She was pushed out.
Had to do with the Calabar Port.
Yes, that was one of the projects. And then the renewal of the boat service, those are the two contracts that he had interest in, and she refused to renew them, and that's what pushed her out, according to her memoir.
According to her. I guess we'll hear from Amechi too,
yes.
But while still on the topic of Nigeria, the House of Representatives Speaker, Femi Gbaja, yesterday lamented, how corruption is the bane of our development. He says that, it's quite sad that Nigeria ranks 150 out of 180, by Transparency International. And this was because we were talking about this investigation, concerning this 48 million barrels of crude oil, of Nigeria's crude oil that had been sold in China. And they said from that transaction, we would have, we lost about $2.4 billion revenue. So this case is being discussed right now by the committee that had been set up to look into this. But then we have this group of protesters who are protesting. They said the whistleblowers that brought the information to the House of Representatives did not follow due process. And I'm asking, what are you saying?
What's due process with whistleblowers?
Exactly when, when it comes to, this is corruption. So we know that crude oil was stolen and sold, and now we're discussing it or investigating it. I don't think that the due process should be the main thing. Yes, they can, I guess they'll protest their protest, but we need to investigate how this happened.
So I'm making a story about World Bank. The World Bank has predicted high unemployment. They said there will be rising inflation and interest hike. They said this is based on the geopolitical tension, COVID-19 pandemic. It will trigger economic recession around the world. They said this is the first time that there will be 2 recessions within 1 decade. And also we know the Ukraine crisis has led to a bit of food challenge, the Russia invasion of Ukraine. So according to the World Bank, they are predicting that about 95% of they revised the expected growth by 95%. That means there will be almost no growth in the GDP of all the advanced countries. And for developing emerging economies, said about 70% downward review. They also mentioned the fact that 60% of the world's extreme poor will remain in that same, currently in sub-Saharan Africa, and there's no expectation of it being any improvement happening there. It's a, what do you call it? It's a prophecy of doom concerning their own outlook on 2023.
All right.
Their own.
The Punch.
Not our own.
Tinubu won presidential poll, INEC tells Tribunal. 256 stranded Nigerians rescued from Libya and Chad. Road survivor John Doe asked Tribunal to sack Sanwo-Olu. Assault. Police begin trial of 3 Rivers and Kano cops. Mob beats OAU student to death over stolen phone. AMCON bars Arik Air founder from airplane premises. National Assembly proposes jail term for Ponzi scheme promoters, and House leadership pro G5 reps plot to scuttle PDP plans. Okay, which story? Who has a Libya story?
National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, yesterday confirmed receiving 152 returnees from Libya and another 104 stranded citizens from Jamina, Chad Republic. So the Libyan returnees were received at the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, while those from Chad were received at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano. So according to the Lagos coordinator of NEMA, Ibrahim Fariloye, he said that 152 Libyan returnees included 25 children and 127 adults, adding that they were returning from the country. They returned through the assistance of the International Organization for Migration and the Nigerian Embassy in Libya. They also received them at about 4:38 p.m. And according to their profiles, they said there were 54 adult females, 7 children, and 3 infant females that were brought back. Also 73 adult males, including those with medical cases, 8 male children, 7 infant males were among that particular batch. And these were people who had failed attempts at crossing the Mediterranean Sea into Europe. So this is ongoing. They will keep looking for people who need to return and return them back to the country.
So, okay, go ahead.
I have a story. Please, if I burp or belch, I'm saying, just understand. I've got gas stuck in my throat. So we have a final year student of the Obafemi Awolowo University who allegedly was beaten until he died on Monday because he allegedly stole a phone. They said he was beaten by a mob. You know, while I was reading the story, I was just trying to, hear mob. Was it outside campus? But as it goes, it looks like students, other students did this to this person who they said may have stolen a phone. Of course, the spokesperson for the university says that they're investigating. They are aware of an incident, but they have, until investigations are done before they give us more information. But we've got the president of the Great Ife Students Union, Folahon Olaiwola. He, in a statement, he confirmed that this assault happened. He confirmed that the mob action happened and they were students, although he said that this is not, they are not a union of, people like this, that this is not what they stand for as a group of students, not what they stand for, that they are not barbarians but intellectuals, and that, the official report has been given to the security officials and law enforcement agencies, and investigation will go on from there. For me, I think this is such a sad story, especially to have happened within a university campus, where we hope that people understand.
More enlightened.
They are learning to be better.
Trying to get the name of the person in charge. So was Chief Johnson, yes, Chief Johnson Arume Ikide. He was the the chairman, actually, of INEC. And if you recall, it was taken by the Assets Management of Nigeria and Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. And they had taken it over. And he thought, because he had a court order allowing him to resume at his office complex. So there was drama at the ports yesterday when he tried to resume, and the chief security officer stopped him from coming into office. According to him, he said, I was at the complex today, and I was given order by the court to perform my duties to my team. The court affirmed that we should remain, that the organs of INEC can remain and function while the receivership was still being in charge. However, he wasn't allowed in, and there was a bit of back and forth on security, and I think that's how he made the papers, because security, the journalists were called in to cover the story. But according to him, the chief security officer, I'm trying to get the name of the person, Mr. Tom West, claimed that he had strict instructions from the receiver manager, that's Mr. Kamilu Omokide, to deny him access with him and his team to the INEC office. We're hoping that this can be really done down, because if this continues, can continue to have issues with the airline. Now that we know that AMCON is supposed to be in charge of it, but at some point, the court has now allowed the management to function, and I'm not sure why the security officers don't allow them to.
Maybe they have.
I want to take the major headlines. So the INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, has asked the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja to dismiss all petitions challenging the declaration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of All Progressive Congress as the winner of the 25th of February election, saying that INEC had declared that Tinubu hold 8.7 million votes to win the election. They mentioned that he fulfilled the requirements of the law, which is that he won over 25% in 29 states. And based on that, they declared him the winner of the election. They also mentioned that the issue about FCT is not an issue, because FCT is not doesn't have special status. It is treated like every other state of the federation, and that the fact that the APC, the president-elect, did not win the FCT cannot be any issue. They also, so the case is that INEC, defending themselves, says that the entire case against the president-elect should be dismissed based on the fact that he won the overall highest votes, and he won 29 states above 25%, which meets the law.
Okay, moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Presidential poll, APC INEC pick holes in Obi's petition. PDP Guba candidate files petition against Sanwo-Olu's victory. Nwoko back Southeast for Senate presidency. Barrow promises to respect zoning. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, I have the PDP and LP governorship candidates have filed a petition against the APC and the Lagos State Governor-elect Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So anyway, what they're just asking is that INEC, the certificate of return that he got should be nullified, that he didn't win what was claimed that he won. They said that, first of all, he was even qualified. He was not qualified to contest election at the time the election took place. That's for him and also his deputy. And then we have PDP too filed. So that was LP. We now have PDP too filed their petition against LP and APC. They said the APC governor too was not qualified at the time, and then for other things like corrupt practices. Then they said the LP candidate, Rhodes Vival, also was not qualified at the time of, the election. They said even though they came second by INEC, they were supposed that. So they're asking that that the court nullify all the votes that they got and declare them wasted. So they should be the winners. So
everybody's not qualified.
Everyone.
That's just the cocoa of the matter.
Let's find that story.
Yes, so yesterday I took a story where the Christian Association of Nigeria was calling out the Fries Line Campina Wamco Nigeria, that's the makers of peak milk, over a post or an advert that they made during the Easter and how it was insensitive to Christians. Now they have written an apology. So they wrote the apology to the Christian Association of Nigeria President Archbishop Daniel Oko, and it was written by the Executive Director, Corporate Affairs, Ore Famurewa, on behalf of the company. And it says, on behalf of Friesland Campina Wamco Nigeria Limited, PLC, I hereby tender an unreserved apology to the Christian Association of Nigeria, as well as the Christian community at large, for the recent Good Friday social media post on the company's social media handle. We acknowledge the sensitivity of the social media post, considering the sobriety of the season. It was neither intended to make light of the significance of the season, nor to inordinately exploit the unmatched sacrifice of Jesus Christ. We wish to inform the Christian Association of Nigeria that the social media post has since been withdrawn. The company also assured the public that they will take appropriate steps to ensure that such incident never happens again. And a lot of Nigerians were excited about this.
Did you see the campaign?
Just showing
I didn't see it.
social media, you know.
I said, but that's private sector for you.
Yeah,
They take
corporate
feedback,
responsibility,
They,
yeah.
they did a mistake. They did apologize. They no back and forth, no going to court, no go.
They have a business to run. They don't want to lose any of their customers.
Speak too much grammar.
The government is taking like that.
I'm saying.
Well, it just
I
happens
need
that
to
it's
get back to
clear-cut
Daily
in
Sun
this
because I forgot to acknowledge the fact that the obituary of Mrs. Ifeoma Adakalu, that's Minakaya, that's the wife of Senator Ojuza Kali's pictures there. Say, you left this world, but not our hearts. I mean, many of us know she passed on April 2nd, 2023, and it was quite a painful exit. I mean, young woman, beautiful woman. Really, just important for us to acknowledge that. I just skipped that.
So
part.
rest in perfect.
That's so rest in peace.
Okay, let me quickly take a
You have a story in
Yes,
Sun?
I have a story in Sun. The PDP senator-elect for Delta State, Nedum Woko, has said that the Igbos need a sense of belonging in the Nigerian enterprise. And given the Southeast is supporting that they take up the leadership position within the Senate, he said that the way Nigeria is currently set up, it would be perceived as marginalization if the Senate presidency doesn't go to Southeast. In the same vein, the chairman committee of appropriation, Jubrin Barrow, has said that when it comes to the legislature, it should be treated differently. That he is totally in support of balancing of leadership across various government offices along religion and religious and regional lines. But when it comes to legislation, he feels it should be different, but that it would defer to the party line, regardless of wherever the party decides, that's where it will go to. But a lot of people in the article were campaigning for the Southeast being the one to be the Senate president. And I'm wondering, we have not even finished this administration. They still have about 1 month to go.
Vanguard, very quickly. APC looks to South-South, shops for Northwest deputy. Presidential poll, why we didn't declare Atiku winner, INEC tells court. Oil market, Nigeria, Russia account for 440,000 BPD, that's barrels per day, drop in output, says report. Illegal crude sale, Malami received funds without remittance, reps allege. Court order, Arik Air Bars founder, Arumemi Ikide from accessing premises. FGOB bicker over the leaked audio conversation with Oyedepo. And Lagos Assembly stops salaries of government appointees without approval. Let me start with that story. So the Speaker of the House of Lagos State House of Assembly, Mr. Mudashiru Obasa, saying this morning that all government appointees who were employed by the executive team withdrew their appointment letters given to them without approval from the House. According to them, they shouldn't have been employed without proper approval from the House, and therefore they are stopped. They withdraw their letters and stop their salaries. Pretty much that's the story.
From when to when? The end of the administration.
I think it's this.
Is it a recent appointment?
Never too late to do the right thing.
It's never too late to do the right thing, yeah.
Anytime you wake up, Abi,
Yes,
it's your morning. So the Benue State Security Council has ordered the immediate suspension of the operations of the community volunteer guards for 2 weeks to allow all herdsmen who thronged the state in the last few weeks for cattle open grazing to move out of the state. So it was a part of the resolution that they reached at the end of an emergency expanded meeting. And the council that attended the meeting was the Tortiv, Ochidoma religious leaders, as well as local government council chairman and which was presided over by the Governor Samuel Autumn. And this followed the bloodbath that happened over 3 weeks. He said not less than 300 lives were lost during this bandits and terrorists invading the community. And they are vowing, the state is vowing to deal decisively with anyone who is involved in conniving with them. So they are suspecting that a lot of young men are conniving with these headers to, you know, cause mayhem in this community. And also this, they said, is a rumor that some traditional rulers are conniving with these people to sell out their people. And then the government is clamping down on any of them, wherever you are from. Once you're caught, you'll be dealt with. That there need to be sanity in Benue State. And so they applauded the local vigilante for doing what they are doing and asking for more help.
I want to take the story of the conversation that happened between federal government on behalf of who was represented, or the person speaking on behalf of federal government was the Minister for Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, was pointing fingers at the Labour presidential candidate Peter Obi and the leaked audio between him and a cleric, Bishop David Oyedepo, on the eve of the election, and is accusing that he wants Peter Obi to come and explain what he means by it was fake and doctored. He said, according to him, if it is fake, it means it never took place. If it is doctored, it means that the audio was distorted, that he wants Peter Obi to say, agree, is it fake or is it a distortion of the fact that you need to come and explain to Nigerians what you meant by fake and doctored, because it can't be both. Minister Lai Mohammed, Alhaji Lai Mohammed was challenging Peter Obi, and Peter Obi of Labour Party responded to say that federal government has been the federal government had handling of the contract been a disappointment, that he didn't talk about the issue, just spoke against the government, and that Nigerians are complaining and all of that. It's just...
I just want me 29 to just...
As in, I can't wait. Let's just swear in and...
Let me have fresh perspective, fresh people.
Because I think before May 29, they must have finished all petitions. So anybody that is sworn in May 29...
Well, I don't think so. I don't think they're bound by that. And we're hoping, I think the Agbako, the SAM was saying recently, that Ulisa Agbako was saying that they can actually finish it before 29th.
But it would be nice.
Somebody was saying that maybe
let's have closure.
Never have we had a president step down for this kind of thing, but we're hoping they can finish it before May 29th so that we can have a clean slate and just move on. That is all we can take on Front Page Review today.